When you first got the script, what did you think of it?
I read it through twice. I loved it. I was confused, obviously, which thing on paper, because of the nature, because of the bod swap genre, which I don't think that's a term, but I use it for this. It's in the bod swap genre. Um, I You're confused by it because a lot of times it's like the script will say Jessica as Joel or Joel as Jessica, and they'll be talking to Lester as Jessica, who is, and you're just like, what am I? I have no. I had to use like I used uh not I had to use a pen and paper and like draw the characters and see like who was talking to who says what when, who's in what body, like just to make a little I had to make a little diagram for myself, and I actually like created the scene. I mock blocked the scene on paper to help the clarity of exactly what was happening and who was saying what to who when. Um, and so it is a very clear script. There is just it's all practical effects, which was exciting to me. It was all the effects are done through acting, and there wasn't a lot that we had to figure out. I knew the guys didn't have a ton of money because they were considering me for the film, for the lead. So I knew they were going to do it on a super low budget, but there wasn't a lot that they would need in terms of like post production or effects to sort of make the trick of the script work. The trick of the script was going to be done through performances. So that's just what is. I mean, that's just so exciting for actors when they read those scripts and they're like, actors just love the idea of slipping into someone else's skin and playing a part of someone else. It's what you set out to do sort of every time you are given a character. And empathy provides like the clearest representation of, jumping inside the skin of another person. So I was just enthralled by it. I loved the script. I read it, cover to cover a couple times when it was first given to me, and I just couldn't wait to get in and read for it.
Uh, since we pretty much spoiled a little bit of the plot of the movie, there is body swapping. That is the twist of um, the premise of the quote unquote technology that's going on inside the film. Since you have to play pretty much three characters towards the end,
Yeah, yeah.
how much time did you spend with Kathy and Jay to get their mannerisms down? So when you have to be them, that you kind of get that right. So it's not just you just putting on a slightly different voice or raising an eyebrow. How did you go about doing that as an actor?
In my opinion, I think of that like when I think about it, I am just doing the subtle sort of just raising an eyebrow. I don't feel like I'm doing a lot. I don't feel like I'm doing a complete mimic of another person entirely. I think that I just picked up on a few sort of subtleties and a few speech patterns, and just kind of went from there. I wasn't trying to, I did a little movement, a little of Jessica's walk, and I did a little of, I kind of cheat when I watch it now because I kind of impersonate Lester's voice a little more than, I don't know that vocal cords also transfer. I don't think that makes the transfer, but I definitely like when I watch it, I'm like, oh, I kind of cheating that moment. I'm a little inauthentic to that moment because I don't know that the physical sort of vocal cords would travel with me, but I found myself doing his voice because Lester is such and Jay Clayton, who plays Lester, is such a big personality that you find yourself like, yeah, he was easy to impersonate. He's so, he's over the top, and so it was easy to pick up on some of his mannerisms. But yeah, I feel like I sort of liken it to my best, like, I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and whenever I hear a really, really great narrator, um, they sort of nod at the characters that they're playing in the different voices, as opposed to I'm really a woman in this moment, or I'm really this person. Like my favorite narrators sort of do it with a little subtlety when they're playing different parts and different people, and so I was I definitely brought that to these performances. I definitely wanted to keep it subtle and not to we're meant to play with big brush strokes for sure.
If let's say that you hadn't been picked for the role of Joel, are there any other of the characters in the film that you would have liked to have played instead?
Oh boy, I mean, um, I just think the kid does so well. I'm forgetting his name in the part, but the young guy who I spent some time in his body, it's such a little one-off, but he does so much with a very little part. Like, I think that he's such a big part of the movie, even though he must have only been there a day or two. And I love that part because he's such a capable actor. I think so. My mind immediately goes to that, but only because I think he just knocked it out with such little screen time. But obviously, I mean, Lester's the best role. Let's face it, it's the best role. I have to work my butt off for 2 hours of this movie, and then in my own human skin, and then this other actor gets all of the payoff, all of the benefits. Do you know what I mean? Like, he gets to make out with the girl and shoot the guns and go do the other stuff. And so I was acutely aware of the fact that when I'm reading the script that I'm going to be doing all the heavy lifting for another actor to come in and have all of the payoff scenes. And so, yeah, Lester is the role that, like, that's the gem. That's the beauty.
In speaking about the story itself and the ending, do you think Joel found redemption at the end of the film, or did he make things worse?
Oh man, did he make things worse? I would always think of, okay, do you remember the Stampy episode? Were you a Simpsons fan? Okay, so Stampy episode, giant elephant, right? Bart is a giant elephant. There's a moment in that, maybe halfway through, where Homer finds himself in quicksand, and his family is like, what can we do? We could throw you rope. Let me help you. And Homer's like, no, I got this. I'll just pull my legs out with my arms. And then his arms get stuck. And then he goes, and now I'll pull my arms out with my face. And it goes completely under. And it's hysterical. And it's like, it's a perfect allegory for Joel. He just, like, refuses the help of the people around him because he's like, no, I'm gonna, don't worry, I'm gonna take care of it myself. And each step along the way, he just buries himself deeper and deeper in quicksand. But it's definitely something that I struggle with in my own life. It's like, I got this. I can take care of it. And you refuse people's help. And by doing so, you just keep going further and further down the rabbit hole. I think it is a very human thing, and very, like, oddly, a very, like, dumb male masculine thing to do, to, like, not ask for help, not seek advice from others, and just kind of, like, I should say, I feel like, I have to be a good provider and a good husband, and I have to do it all on my own. And it's no way to live. It's not good. It's not healthy. It seems, yeah. And so I identified with that. I identified with that character flaw of Joel's.
So basically, we should all learn to stop before you really fuck things up.
Exactly. Or just, like, my wife is so good about just, like, hey, reaching out to people when she's in need of something. And her family and the people who care about her and love her will help her and take care of her and us. So, it's just like, just ask people for help. It's okay. Poor Joel.
What is it about acting that you love so much that you've made it your career?
Oh, I love the study of the human condition. What makes us all so similar? What makes us different? The study of human behavior, I think, is a noble pursuit. I think it is a good enough reason to be on this planet, and I hope I get to do it till the day I die. I love when I find, or I'm watching something, or I'm reading something that was written by a person, maybe from a different culture, a different society, and it is universal. It is ubiquitous. It calls to me in a way that you ordinarily think it wouldn't. And so I think that is what is great about this movie. Also, it just is. There's something in it for everybody.